Now then, people, good evening and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It's time for your instant match reaction. Leeds were back at their scintillating best. Sorry about that. Let me recenter that. Leeds United were back at the scintillating best. It was a lot easier than I genuinely first envisaged. I think the league is becoming a little bit too easy now for Leeds United. It's a bit of a cakewalk. Of course, we have two very tough games coming up in Sunderland and Sheffield United, but everyone else seems to not be able to get anywhere close to Leeds United. We were exquisite, scintillating, superb. I'm running out of superlatives to actually say about Leeds United, truth be told. Just everywhere across the pitch, we were better. Some real standout performances. Dan James, Aronson was great. Pirro again. I mean, Pirro's goal was a beauty, one that I really enjoyed. Farke's got this well-oiled machine going at the right time. First half of the season, at times rightly so. Maybe there were reasons to be critical. I think it did go overboard, but yeah, there were reasons to be critical. But we have to back a guy that's got over 90 plus points, 3 seasons on the trot in this division. He knows what he's doing, and it almost feels like, we're building up to a crescendo and now, turn of the year, like we did last year. But obviously last year we were chasing down 2 other juggernauts in Ipswich and Leicester. But this time we are that juggernaut out there on its own. And, just knocking off records, knocking off teams, managers. It's not just on the manager either. Some of the performances from some of the lads have been immense, and they don't look like stopping. This is the thing. Evie, thoughts? Because it was, again, just very easy and very enjoyable for us Leeds fans to watch. It's been amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think I will ever get rid of my Leeds United jitters. Like I was having to pace while watching the game until we kind of scored the third, because I just thought 2 is, it's the cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason of, it is dangerous. But they were just making so many mistakes. The more that we pressed, the more that they flapped, and the more that they flapped, the more we pounced on it. And in Dan James's case, like literally, it was absolutely incredible. It was wonderful football to watch. Some of the moves, even the moves that didn't end up in goals, it was just brilliant quality football. Things that we were missing from last season. We were missing that kind of real chemistry, and that seems to have happened this year. Farke's got more of the players that he wanted in. Tanaka, you just can't say enough good things about Tanaka. He's just absolutely, we went on and on last year about how Kamara was press resistant. For me, Tanaka is incredibly press resistant. He just pirouettes and turns his way out of trouble. And then there was a lovely ball through. I think it was for, I can't remember whose goal it was for, but he slid it through to Solomon, and Solomon passed it for, I think it was Pirro's goal. But it's just the build-ups for these, and the understanding, and the Scott Parker used to say about Bielsa, scripted patterns of play. We move that, but it feels a little bit, more organic, maybe less scripted, but they're just that well drilled that they can do unique little turns, and another player knows exactly what they need to do in order to, receive that pass. I thought Bogle was exceptional tonight. I thought defensively he was really good. He made some good clearances when Watford did get close to our box. So I think he was really kind of underrated tonight, just with how good obviously Dan James was, and Solomon and Firpo. And if Pirro could touch the ball like he touched it in the box tonight elsewhere on the pitch, I don't think any of us could ever complain about him, because it was like watching an angel move through the snow it was honestly, it was just beautiful and magical, and something that you just kind of want to put a bow on and just watch over and over again, because he was just so calm and relaxed, and he just dances his way, and just you knew that it was going to be a goal. I was just honestly astounded. I don't know how many more words that we can use to describe this Leeds team at the minute, and the form that we're on is incredible. And if the commentators on Sky Sports would just stop googly eyes over Burnley and actually look that we've only got one less clean sheet than them, or well, at the minute until they play, we've actually got the same amount of clean sheets, but we score for fun. We have a better goal difference than Watford has got, points on the board. So we've got 47 plus goal difference and they've got 42 points. So we're just absolutely insane. We are inevitable.
Inevitable, that's the great word. It is. I'll tell you what else is inevitable is how good Leeds are defensively. And we have to include the keeper in that as well over the last few weeks, because again, he made some good saves tonight.
Yeah.
His confidence seems to have, gone through the roof. Since the draw at Hull, Leeds have now gone 6 league games without conceding a single goal. Sorry. To think... Yeah, I mean, this here's some stats for you, Evie. So since the 1st of December, we've played 14, won 10, drawn 4, lost none, have scored 35 and just conceded 6. It is insane. Right. Is the league too easy at this point, or are you not ready to go there yet, Eva?
If there was an actual bigger goal, like points separation, then I would, because right now we just look unstoppable. We look, and it's really weird, and I will never get used to it, but always enjoy it. The fact that even the pundits that actively don't like Leeds United, they can't actually say anything bad about us. And it's so incredible, the fact that it must be so painful for these pundits that clearly have a chip on the shoulder when it comes to Leeds United, but they just can't say anything bad about us. We're just breaking records, breaking championship records, we're breaking Leeds United records, managerial records. It's just fantastic. But I think the collective important thing is we learn, I think, today something that we missed last week against Coventry, when it came to, there was no selfish players really out there for me tonight. Like Solomon could have had that shot and he passed it to Pirro. There was so many things that could have, they could have done differently in the Coventry game, and we'd have easily matched that Cardiff result. And today's another day like that. Dan James came this close 2 or 3 times. So it's on another day we do score 7 in that game, and we're not even being Leedsy fans and thinking that we're better than we are. We actually are that good.
Yeah, we are. You're right. 2 players with the most goals and assists in the Championship in 2025 are Manor Solomon with 4 goals and 4 assists, and Dan James with 5 goals and 3 assists. It's like they're having their own little competition between them both. Both currently on 8 G&A. They are absolutely flying, them two as a pair. And here's the best one, right? This really just shows how good this manager is, and hopefully, even the biggest doubters now, well, there shouldn't be any doubters anymore, really, if we're being totally honest. But Leeds United's current goal difference of plus 47 is the best we've ever had after 32 league games of a single season in the club's history. It's actually 8 more than our previous best of plus 39, which was in 69-70 under Dom Revie. So we're on course to smash that. The club record was plus 49 set in 27-28, 19-27-28. So this season is like, for those that have been critical throughout and that, and still may be critical, what I would say to you is, much like, and I'm not comparing the 2 times, but I used to always say that in the Bielsa time, like, enjoy it, because you're not going to get this again. And I think now, of course, they're not the same, and they have, it was different times, but what I will say is enjoy what we're doing right now, because next season it's not going to be like that. You know, the season after, we're not going to get this again for such a long time. Like literally, in terms of the 7-0 win, you know, battering teams every week, crazy stats every week, records broke. You're actually living in I know this might sound deeper than it actually is, but we're witnessing history with this side right now, because if we go up and you know, and do succeed in the Prem, we're not going to get these numbers again. Do you know what I mean? So enjoy it, because this right now is history. Like the manager is Daniel Farke is making Leeds United history that stood for decades. You know.
Yeah, well, nigh on a century. You know,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's, you know, these records aren't easily broken. You know, these records have stood for as long as almost our entire history as a club.
exactly.
So, you know, Farke is a good manager. Yes, we do have to caveat at this level because he's never been backed in the Premier League. So we genuinely cannot hand on heart say that he is or isn't a good manager in the Premier League. We know, you know, we've seen by our very own eyes, we've been beaten by Farke before in this level. So we know that he's a good manager. Yes, he's stubborn, but all managers are stubborn. And, you know, his stubbornness this season is working. You know, you can just tell that even though, yes, we had the smallest squad, the quality is better than we had last season, because there isn't the massive dip from the heights of, you know, Somerville and Nonto to bringing on Geldhart and Pervader. You know, the difference, you know, you're swapping Dan James and Solomon for Ramazani and Nonto, both of whom, you know, have had periods playing at, you know, in a top 5 league. So we are performing as a unit so much better that you don't necessarily have to have the top quality in order to compete at the top of, caveat that with at the top in this, you know, particular division. But we could, you know, we haven't even strengthened and we're still maintaining these stats, and we're able to potentially rest players a bit earlier. I was gutted for Dan James that he didn't get his hat trick, but he did leave him on enough time and he did have enough chances to get it. But I would have loved to have seen Dan James take home the match ball, especially because he's never scored against Watford before. So not only has he never scored against them, he could have had his first, I think, professional hat trick. So
is it his first professional one? Yeah, would it be?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Barney says, to your point, Joe, all we want to do is go, but the journey is so much more fun than the destination. Can't wait to be happy about shithousing a 1-0 win. Andy C says, great result tonight. Member for 34 months. Big up to Fergal Kelly as well with the super sticker. 91 Leeds, I think it is. I'm sorry, you know, I always go early, but I'm not convinced. Let's say, for example, right, I'm not convinced Burnley will beat Hull tomorrow. If they don't, right, we have an 8-point gap over third. 8 with 14 to go. And we might not beat Sunderland. We might not beat Sheffield United, but 8-point gap, it's a lot. Like I've said before, I've not asked for the league, but obviously as we're putting teams away like this, you're like, oh, I want the league. And I think we will get the league. But even tonight, I think, is the points over Sunderland 10 points? Like, so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And
it was, I'm sure it was 7 as of when they got their drop points against Watford.
Yeah. If I have a look at it now, so we're on 69. Sheffield United are on 64, and they play Middlesbrough, which won't be easy.
No.
Burnley play Hull, which again, Burnley at home, I'd never back them. They're a massive 8 points behind us. And Sunderland are on 59, which is 10. You know, I do think Sunderland will beat Luton, so they'll draw closer. But point is, like, I am really confident right now, and the big difference as well, Evie, is that we go into certain games. Obviously, we had a period at start of season where we maybe struggled away. That's gone now. We can all see that that's gone. We've scored 6 on the road, Coventry and Watford. And if we're being honest, it could have been 14. It
Yeah.
could have been 12. You know what I mean? It could have been so much more. So, that's gone. Last season we struggled against teams down the bottom end. We're not doing that this time around. There doesn't seem to be a chink in our armour at the minute. For a period, it was the goalkeeper. Then it was injuries. We know Ampadu grew away. Right now, how do you get at Leeds United? I don't think there is an answer to that.
No, because even when we did put ourselves under pressure right near the end, when Ampadu refused to pass the ball and they ended up, getting it, and Dan James refused to pass back in order for us to then pump it forward, we still managed to get out of there without a scratch, kind of thing. They didn't even get a consolation goal, which obviously when you're 4-0 up and it's 80 minutes, you're not going to, lose a game really at that point. Touch wood. This is Leeds United. We can do the unthinkable, but it's really hard to see that even when we have testing moments, we are that united that the attackers come and help defend. It's not last season, it very much felt at times where it was like a us and them with the forwards and the defenders and the midfield. And that is somewhere, Somerville had iffy games when it came to the defensive side of things, whereas I don't think really now we've got any winger that isn't willing to put in the graft and defend as well. And I think that's the difference, is because we defend as a unit, we attack as a unit. Firpo was in the number 9 spot. He's just a free spirit at this point now. He's not a left back. He is his own Firpo position. It's just something about this Leeds team feels different. It feels united.
Do you think, Evie, that it's actually worked better for Leeds United to have another season in the Championship almost and go up? Because I feel that we're in a much better position. I feel that the teams that will go up with, let's say it's Burnley and Sheffield United, I think that's where the strongest of the three, whereas if you go up last season, you compete with Leicester and Ipswich. So I actually think this might have worked out for the best. We've definitely got a better squad than we had last season. Okay, there might be individual brilliance missing from the likes of Rutter and Somerville, but as a squad and how balanced it is, it's are we in a better position?
I think the players that obviously we retained from last season fully are invested and understand Farke's football, which then means that when you have newcomers such as Tanaka, such as Rothwell, such as Bogle, you've got players that can surround themselves with a team that already know how to play a Farke ball. And it just means that everybody's not learning from scratch. Everybody can help and improve. And, Farke proves with the people who are willing to put in the effort and listen to him, he will improve them. Bogle, I was very critical at the beginning of the season and in pre-season about him, and now he's absolutely phenomenal and doesn't stop from minute 1 to minute 90. He fully embraces Farke ball, and I'm not saying that he's potentially almost at his ceiling. So Archie Gray obviously has a much higher a much kind of bigger and brighter future. But for what we needed this season and probably what we needed last season, Bogle is a much better fit for Farke's system, because as well, that's why last year we were so one-dimensional when it came to our wings. We were just pumping it down the left, Firpo and Somerville. That's all there was. And then I think now that we've got a player who's more than happy to make those just long charging, overlapping runs like Bogle does. Archie wasn't a right back and he did an incredible job at playing out of his natural position. But for what Leeds United needed, we needed somebody like Bogle who was fit for purpose. And I am really happy and excited to see what an improvement in quality could do with Farke ball, because now I think we're seeing what Farke ball is actually about. You have the control, you have the attack, but you have the controlled attack. And I think if we go up, we've got the money to spend when we go into the Premier League. Potentially all of the criticism which we have all faced at the 49ers in terms of being quite frugal with the way that they've spent their money
and I
over
think
the last...
rightly so at times.
I was disappointed, and I still am disappointed because there's still 14 games to go, and if Pirro gets an injury, we do have an issue to be concerned about there.
Aronson still can't be rested. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why I was so pleased to see that, yes, I never want to throw a game, but I am so pleased that Dan James, Rodon and Aronson didn't play a minute on Saturday, because I thought Aronson was incredible again today. Defensively, he was brilliant. Some of his passes right in the final element weren't fantastic, but he wasn't backing out of things. He just must be so tedious to play against. He's a nightmare. But again, we love a story and a story arc, just like, we've loved Junior Firpo over the last season and a half. Aronson coming back, and being the kind of the lone rat that we all thought he was. And he's just put his head down and he's taken all the criticism, he's taken everything. And regardless of whether he has the actual talent to succeed in the Premier League, he's certainly given his commitment and given everything to the team this season from the very first game.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's talking to you there, Eva. Drink on me, Ginger. Ginger, right? Yeah? No? Must be me. Paul Jones for last. Big up, mate. Grim Reaper said, you said we'd be more complete without Somerville and Rutter. I miss them, but I prefer this team. I have to share this as well, because what a vantage point this person's got of Leeds United's third, or it might be the fourth. But look at, you were talking about Tanaka. Look how he pirouettes past Tom Ince here. Like, he's just done the full 360, left him for dust. Great feet from Solomon as well in tight spaces. But the joy here when Pirro picks it up and puts Pollock on his backside, it is a beauty. It's so good. What a goal. I think we need to hear it with noise, I think. The same. Yeah, don't want that. Well done, don't want that. Oh, shoot! Oh man, that away end would have been bouncing tonight for sure.
It's all you could hear from minute 1 to minute 9. I was so disappointed with just how empty Vicarage Road was. Like, it was awful. It was awful the whole way through. It wasn't even after they went 3-0 down. There was barely any people there at the start of the game.
Yeah. Melier getting a lot of flowers from the press as well, it would seem. Let's just have a look. I think Melier's got a big score for a change. It just shows you, 8 from Graham Smith at the YEP. We have to give Melier flowers as well, Evie. He's come on leaps and bounds. You know?
And he took one in the face as well. It looked like he got a bit of a clap, but obviously it would have been a pointless and kind of meaningless goal, but it certainly does his stats good when it comes to the fact that, was it like the 86th minute they had a shot and it was on target and he did save. So he did his job, and there was a moment where he was going to bowl it out to one side, and I know he often does the dummy rolls and stuff, but he did this thing where he rolled it and then he twisted his arm and did a backhand to, I think it was to Ampadu, and it was just a little bit cheeky, and it's nice that he's in that frame of mind where he feels confident and he feels back at his best, because regardless of what I think should happen at the end of the season, I still want him to do well because I want us to go up. So, my feelings on his future at Leeds are irrelevant because I want him to do well now for us.
Yeah, agreed. It is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more we can say about it. Evie, if you remember last time we spoke about how there was 45 points available, 41 got you the points record. There's now 42 available and 38 more. No, sorry, yeah, 3 off. Yeah, so 42 available, meaning 38 would get us the points record. You never know. You never know. But I think it's safe to say we're safely on for 90 points, I would imagine, which gets us up, I think. Looking at the next, them next 2 games, it's all focused on them next 2 now. We're at home against Sunderland. I really want to win that because of what happened up at their place.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with winning that and getting a point away at Bramall Lane, to be honest. I don't know how you feel about them too.
Yeah, so would I. I would like us to not just go unbeaten for the rest of the season. I'd love us to win, especially at home games, because that crowd, like you said earlier, we need to soak up this because it's going to be different. I'm not saying it will be all doom and gloom. We're not going to do a Southampton, but it's not going to be as easy as as this is at the minute. So I do hope that we can at least win the rest of our home games so that we give the home fans something to remember next season when we're kind of hoping and praying for a point against Liverpool kind of thing. But yeah, I do think that I think we've got, because whenever I've watched Sunderland, I've thought they've played really good football. They were awful against us. We were by far, I know they got the early goal, but after that goal, we were just on top for 70 minutes of the game. We were on top. And then obviously the last 30 seconds we don't talk about. But if the ref had blown his whistle at the appropriate time, then we would have won that game 2-1. But so I do think that we owe them for that because I wasn't impressed. I've been impressed with watching them since and before, but I wasn't impressed actually at that game. I was quite disappointed considering they were the home team. So I would love us to put down another marker.
Yeah. I think the exciting thing is these teams will come and play. They have to come and get results. They have to get points, which only benefits Leeds United, who in transition right now look like they can score every single time.
Yeah.
I'm actually more concerned about the likes of the Portsmouths, the Plymouths, because, they're scrapping, they're fighting for their lives. They'll play a certain way. These games, I'm actually excited for more than anything, I thought Watford would be tough tonight. I won't lie. I did. But it was it was easy. It was easy. Farke said the individuals up front were at a top level, unplayable at times. We could have been better in possession. He says the 4th goal was like poetry in motion, which is the goal that we just seen from the stands there. It's beautiful. Evie, to finish up, who gets your... Oh, actually, before we do, we are sending a message. We are unbreakable and breaking records since 70s. That's the kind of team we have. We don't just win. We do it with ease. Paul Jones, I think you've hit every note there, mate. That's the thing. I'll keep saying, enjoy this, folks. Forget about looking ahead to the Premier League and if he's the right man and, we need this, we need that. Just do the right thing now, just do the right thing now and enjoy it, because that's what it's about. But Evie, finish up. Let's talk about our man of the matches. Are we both in agreement that we go with your favourite player in the Welsh winger wizard, or do you have another shout?
It's really difficult because I really do think that Dan James did deserve it because he was just brilliant, and I wish that he'd have got that superb goal that just went wide, the one that was from the bloody halfway line. Would have been absolutely incredible. So yeah, let's go Dan James.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do think, yeah, Joe says, pick James, Evie, you coward. Yeah, amazing. I think we all go Sir Daniel of James, Tenacious G says. Man of the match day. Honourable mentions for Bogle and Pirro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bogle would have been my other choice.
The guy that did the compilation, by the way, and he is now quote tweeted and said, "Oh, actually, it might be." It's like backtrack, moonwalking. But hey ho, if a compilation is going to take to show a player or shut people up, then I'll do it. I'll let people do that. But only 2 teams have a higher number of goals scored than our goal difference, and that's Middlesbrough and Norwich. Everyone else has scored less than our bloody goal difference. So, yeah,
Wow.
let's get 100 points and 100 goals. I think 100 goals is unachievable, to be fair, but you never know. We could have had 30 goals in 3 games. It's getting mad. It's getting mad. But yeah, Farke said, these are the best wins of the season away from home. Coventry were on fire before. Watford will not lose many games at home from now. It's a crazy schedule for us. Goals and clean sheets, pleasing. We have good moment, great shape. We have to keep going. Yeah, and I think we will. I think we will, won't we? But yeah, Evie, anything more you want to add?
No, if we can just copy and paste and just keep doing that, then, you know, like it's going to be a live reaction where we're just talking for 5 minutes. Were we incredible? Yeah, we were incredible. Okay, right. Well, I'll see you all later then.
Yeah, me and Evie said at the start, like, we haven't got much to talk about other than Leeds are just winning again. That's it. But even we have to enjoy these moments because, like I say, next season we'll all be sat here going, "Oh, we've just been beat 7." Do you know what I mean?
No,
so,
come on.
No, yeah. 4. But folks, listen, thanks as always for watching. Please check out Discourse of a Peacock. Tomorrow I'll be doing the EFL watch along. Sunderland play, Sheffield United play, Burnley play, and then final word after that. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Check out Discourse of a Peacock. Check out all the great Leeds United content creators. Thanks for your support tonight, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye now, folks. Bye. There we go.